and welcome to the Mancunian way.
Oh, we're live. That took a while. That is far too long.
No, you got to show off the treble, mate. When you win
I've
the
got to
treble,
say, Martin,
you got to show it off.
I've got to say it's far more professional the way that you intro your channel and just the way that you conduct yourself. I mean, Baz hasn't got a patch on you. I mean, Proudlock's not far behind; he's a bit ahead of Baz, but you know, I've got to commend it, mate.
Oh, thank you very much. Listen, you gotta build it up. No, best team in the land, treble winners. Got to show it off.
Martin, have you got 3 points in a row to make, or 3 losses in a row? Oh no, that's Newcastle, isn't it?
Now. Anyway, good evening to everyone within the chat. Welcome to a brand new show for the Mancunian way, not a brand new show for the panel. We have, like I said, I've been doing this for over a year. Is it, Baz?
Yeah, it has been. Yeah. Crazy.
And as you can see, we've got PD Proudlock. Good.
All right.
We've got Steve from Coastal Palace. My internet's is anyone else's internet a bit weird?
No.
Nice,
Hang on. Right, I know what it is. I'm on my 5G instead of my 2.4. Give me 1 sec. Don't stop smiling, you.
Sorry, Steve just said something about professionalism. That's all. Oh, love it.
Right, that's better. Now we're up to speed. Not been live for a while. Been enjoying the international break. From the Anvil is with us, and as well is Baz. Everyone's socials are down in the description below. So if you can go and give all these chaps a follow, you can also join in with the Premier League review show on their channels, because it isn't just going to be on ours. It'll be a month on Pete's, month on Baz's, and then back to us again. It's the way it's going to work. So tonight, gentlemen, we're going to talk all about the transfer window in general, as well as our own clubs, but in general. We'll go around, start with you, Pete, and we'll go around and think, is everyone actually happy it's over?
Yes.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Steve's thinking it. Steve's like, nah.
Well, I don't think Steve ever enjoys a transfer window of his owners, does he?
Good evening, Michael. How are you, mate?
They're not the best, but when we do sign someone, it's quality acquisition. Unlike Newcastle, we sign players that are made of glass.
Right. For anyone who does not know, Steve and Baz have a long history of needling each other. You don't understand. You're on a new audience here. They will not understand why you.
They probably won't know. They'll just think he's a prick and I'm all right.
I'm with you, Daniel. Yeah, we'll get into that. Bernardo's contract, 10 out of 10 window. There's a lot of the windows. I mean, I think it was record.
It was.
Profits, record sales, record buys. All the records were smashed this summer. Now, obviously, yes, the window has been a bit of a mess. The window's now changed compared to what it was, especially when, and I don't mean this in a real derogatory way, when you got Caicedo going for 115 million quid, just tells you everything you need to know about the window. And
it's wrong. And
United are buying Haaland from Wish and calling him Hoyland for 85 million quid. Well, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, the window is absolutely a mess at the moment. Pete, who's had the best window for you out of everyone? All 20 teams.
Wow, that's a fool. I'm probably going to have to go with your side, Martin. I know.
Really?
Yeah. You don't think so?
Baz isn't agreeing. Baz is already straight away on the nose.
It's because you bought sensibly, that's the thing, Martin. And you've so far, look how you've started the season as well.
No, we buy everyone. We buy everyone. Don't sell anyone.
By success, remember.
Yeah, by success. coming from the Newcastle fan down there in the corner.
We're not buying anything, though, are we? We're going to come on to
Oh,
that.
you haven't? Looking at your start, you haven't bought anything this summer. That's the problem.
Well,
No, I mean,
when you look at Newcastle, Martin, and they buy a player called Toenails, I mean, it says it all. I mean, they put their foot right in it, haven't they? Let's be honest.
what do you mean? The guy who only plays 60 minutes and then that's it? He seems to just be dragged off. I mean, yeah, if you got, I don't know what Eddie Howe's doing, but you're literally getting 60 minutes out of him, and then that's it.
I don't know why.
It's not fully up to speed with the Premier League yet. That's why he's easing them in.
And
He did it with Bruno. Like how long did it take for Bruno to get a first team appearance? As in,
It took a few games, didn't it?
Exactly. He's just following the same pattern that he's been doing. But we've also got
but Newcastle fans are still waiting for Bruno to get up to speed as well.
This season, yeah.
Mm.
But the best window of that of everyone is West Ham. Their midfield is phenomenal. They've bought very well. Selling Declan Rice for what they did. Nah.
See, I've got 3, and I've not got
The
City
Spurs
in the
window's
top
been
3.
brilliant.
I haven't even got City in my top 3.
I've not got City in the top 3. I've got
No, I
Villa,
don't.
Tottenham, and West Ham in my top 3.
Yeah.
West Ham.
Well, that's biased for me to say West Ham. I'm going to throw at you a one that's impressed me is Bournemouth, because look, I can see what they've been trying to do. They bought in a hell of a lot younger core. They've got players that can last them several years under this new manager. They've been taking the piss out of Leeds because the manager they got is the one Leeds wanted. They got Tyler Adams from Leeds and Sinistera as well. So nicked 2 players off him. Kirkes, they got as a left back who's quality. They've had a really good window actually as well. They've gotten, like I say, a lot younger players, and they might not get the results they always want, but I can see what they're doing at least. Spurs had a good window as well, and with Ange in charge, they look a little bit more structured, I think. And the West Ham window has been probably the big talking point with selling Declan Rice and everything that's come with that. But given how we've played, and the fact we've won 3 in a row and drawn 1 and we're unbeaten, we look actually a lot better without Declan in the team, because he was holding us back in a lot of ways. He was stopping other players from expressing themselves in a lot of ways. And we replaced him with 2 midfielders. Said we needed 2 midfielders to replace him. We got in Edson Alvarez, who's been absolutely quality. The guy is literally like a Mexican mop and bucket. We've got Ward-Prowse. I'm going to say this right now. A lot of West Ham fans were saying they didn't want Ward-Prowse because of his age, because he's 28 years old, soon 29. I'm like, that's ridiculous. You're going to get 4 good years out of him. He's everything we need at West Ham in terms of a leader with experience and someone who's got set-piece ability about him, because we are a set-piece-based club. His work runs for him. He's got 3 assists and a goal in his first 4 games. Kudus signing. I think he might need bedding in a little bit, but he looks quality. Who else did we get?
I've actually got the list up. I say I have done preparation for this show, believe it or not.
Yeah, thank you, because I don't
We've
even
got
remember
Mohamed Kudus, Edison Alvarez, Sean Moore. I know that's probably a youngster in it. James Ward-Prowse, and I'm not even going to pronounce the Greek fella's name because
Konstantinos Mavropanos.
There you go. Thank you very much. At least you said it.
Yeah.
See, this is what you have to respect when you get a show like this, like the amount of preparation that Martin has made, and you get the same thing with Proudlock. I mean, it's exceptional preparation from both of them.
Sorry, was someone talking there?
Yes.
I zoned out.
I mean, when Baz hosts a show, we have to message him at 1 minute late saying, have you got a link to join?
Last minute's always the best. Keep you on your toes.
Not really.
60 seconds is all it takes, guys, I guess. I mean, you're used to that, aren't you, mate?
I've got to say, I mean, the West Ham, if you look at it for me, Declan Rice at 105 million, I'd even say Samaka as well, because he came in last summer. He came in. Pardon?
He can get fucked, seriously.
Yeah, no, I know he can. No, but what I mean, he came in last summer as your big striker. Declan Rice was your main midfielder, and to me, you've lost those 2 and bought even better.
Well, the only one thing that Yeah, I agree with that. But the only thing that would have made it better was getting another striker in, because we're one Antonio injury from Danny Ings starting. That's the worry. We had been trying to look for a few strikers actually prior to the window closing, but we couldn't get one that was good for valuation. But here's my thing. Bowen can play up top and Kudus can go on the wing. So that's not the worst thing. And the good thing about selling Skamaka is we broke even with it and we got more or less the same amount of money we paid for him. And I was okay with that. We didn't make a massive loss on him.
I mean, it's obviously done you well. I know we're mainly doing, but we're doing the review as well. You've got 10 points out of 12 in your opening 4. So you've clearly done something correct to get 10 out of 12. Clearly. Now, I'm not, I do like Moyes. I think Moyes is a very good manager. I've still seen some rumours about him being unpopular at West Ham.
He's come out and denied it.
Has he?
Yeah.
I think it was more amongst the fan base I saw. But...
Yeah, because some of our fans are dickheads. That's why.
Yeah, true. Or just don't follow Twitter or X or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Baz, Pete, you know that the way some of your fan base has been over the last 10 days.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, Colonel Ward makes a great point. Colonel Ward's an actual Arsenal fan. And he said West Ham have sold Rice and brought 4 quality players.
Yeah.
That's the team he's gone to.
The one thing I'll say, though, I don't think Declan Rice was holding you back. That's a very harsh comment on a club legend, considering he literally drove you through that European competition last season, kept you up as well. And then let's not, I mean, if he's holding you back, he's just scored an absolute winner in a massive game. He's a game-changing player.
No. What I mean when I say hold it back, I'm not saying you held us back progressively as a team, but because he was always the main one to carry forward, it took the attention off other players. So, for example, it's made our midfield work together a little bit harder as well. It's made Paqueta carry the ball a bit more. And it's made Paqueta actually a bit more defensive. He's leading the league in tackles right now with 18.
I mean, Andy here says West Ham have done great business, been much better without Rice. It is weird because you look at Tottenham and they've sold Kane and look better without Kane. It looks really weird, though. Sometimes you get that one player who takes all the headlines, you rely on him, that goes out. And like for me, I think Tottenham look really good without Kane.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, yeah.
Don't forget they haven't beat much in front of them so far this season in the games that they've played.
No, that's fair enough, but I think they've finally got a manager who's not unstable.
Oh no, he seems a good manager.
And they are playing exceptional football. Like if you watch the way they're playing, they've had a few suspect bits at the back, but then that's always going to happen with who you've got at your disposal at Spurs, and they need to strengthen a little bit further in terms of the defensive side. But for now, they've got what they've got, and they've got to use what they've got. But 10 points out of 12, I think it's a brilliant start for Spurs, given how the fan base was falling apart, and they've lost their apparent best player. But it's like Palace. I mean, we lost Wilf. But you've got to find a way to, move forward as a club, and that's what we've done.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had Villa in the top 3. I mean, listen, disagree with me. I mean, I've got Villa, Tottenham, West Ham. Tell me now, am I mad?
No, definitely not. I think Villa.
No, you're not mad to say Villa.
No, Villa. Definitely agree. They've had a really good window as well.
Because they bought Pau Torres, which for 33 million, which has turned into an absolute disaster so far. But it's been 3-4 games, so it's hard. Moussa Diaby, who Baz spent the whole summer praying, telling everyone he was coming and everything else, and then he was at Villa Park.
Yeah, but Martin, Baz got his information and intel from Indicalia.
Oh, that comes.
Indicalia.
Is that the guy you've had a go at today? Because Ez is off to United.
Yeah, apparently.
How can he be off to United when the window's shut?
Have you not seen? Apparently, City are going to buy Verts, It's like, hang on a minute, we've just finished the window. I don't want another one. Like, can you get to the football?
This is the same guy that put a tweet out on 2 days before the window's going to close, saying, "I can guarantee you, Doucouré is coming to Liverpool." Yeah, all right, mate.
Yeah, it's
The
mad.
bloke's melt.
I mean, looking at Villa, they've got obviously Rico Richards. Some of these are youngsters as well. Yuri Tillmans, I thought was a great bit of business on a free.
Yeah,
on a free.
It is, but Tielemans is such a lazy player. I mean,
He's a flat packer.
He's got no work rate. He's got no kind of desire, and
he can be one of them.
I only ever see like part-time appearances for him. I don't see him starting for Villa.
I'm not a fan of him.
He just looks chubby, doesn't he? To be honest.
Oh, as soon as he retires, you'll be fat.
We don't body shame on your shows. Don't bring it over here.
That's very sizist, Baz. That's not acceptable, mate.
It's all right. I'm fat. I don't care.
You're fat. God, what am I then? Just forget it. I'm just no. I mean, and they've also. I think they did this near the deadline. Was it on deadline day or just before? Was Langley from Barcelona? I know Barcelona had to get 2 or 3 players out because they were desperate to get João Cancelo in the door.
Langley was balling for Spurs. I don't see him changing that mantra of Villa. Diaby's an exceptional bit of recruitment, and I know Baz wanted him at Newcastle, and he's proven that he's basically got it in him. But a lot of their players are made of glass, and I don't see Villa challenging. I think Europe's going to kill them just exactly the same way. And this isn't being a wind-up merchant, guys, but I think it's going to do exactly the same thing to Newcastle and Brighton as well.
Well, yeah, not us.
I
think you'll be all right.
We'll be fine. I'm not asked about us. We'll be all right. We don't have it as hard as others.
I don't like Thursday night, yes. Because you play Thursday, Sunday. But when you're in the Champions League, you play Tuesday, Wednesday night, and you always play Saturday night or Sunday. You've got more time to recoup than you have if you're in the European League on a Thursday night. So I don't think it's going to affect us that much. We're in the group of death. We probably won't get out of it. It's just 6 extra games.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, Baz, sorry to intervene there. I'm not being funny. And again, I'm not trying to wind either you or Pete up. Your players look like they're knackered. Like, how can you look that way after like 4 games? Like, was pre-season that brutal to make you be playing this way? I don't know. Yes, it's not the easiest fixtures, but
who says we've been playing badly? We've tonked Villa at home.
Your whole fan base has been kicking.
I'll be honest with you, Baz. I thought you were bad at the Etihad.
We weren't that bad at the Etihad. We got beat 1-0. We had
You were absolutely dreadful against Brighton. You weren't.
Like, Brighton's the one game where we were dreadful.
Brighton, I was down there to see that.
We got done by 10 men against Liverpool. It's not acceptable at the end of the day.
The Liverpool game wasn't a bad game, though, was it? We got done in 10 minutes. We actually outclassed them in the first.
You know what the Liverpool game was, Baz? It was naivety.
Yeah.
It was naive. What I mean by the one at our place was, and I said this to Pete on thing, you can't go to top teams and sit back if you want to challenge into the top 4.
I don't think we wanted to sit back. I think Pep got his tactics brilliantly and played an extra man in midfield, and he overran us, and we couldn't get the ball.
That's how we always play.
Yeah.
No, he even came out and said himself, he said that I changed my tactics because Newcastle are a great team and they were coming to the Etihad, and I changed it up to win that game.
We won the Champions League like that, Baz. That's how we play with the 3-4.
I'm just saying what your manager said. That's what he said in the press conference.
But you hardly even attacked Man City, like,
because we couldn't get the ball off
playing last season.
Yeah, but we couldn't get the ball off them
this season. You've been really slack and lazy.
You need the ball to attack. We couldn't get it. Man City were that good, and there'll be more teams that go to the Etihad that get absolutely hammered, and we got beat 1-0, and everyone's going up and raw about the performance. We got beat 1-0 off the treble champions. When Palace go there, you'll probably get beat 5-0 this season. And then we'll talk about who had the better performance and who did the more attacking and who had the ball the most. And all
your swords away. You two put your swords away.
Yeah, that's fine, Baz. But at the end of the day, right now, mind the gap.
Hey, he's got our legs open again.
You can tell. I mean, we talked about Tottenham a minute ago. They bought obviously James Maddison, again, one of your long-term targets. He was actually took to it like a duck to water at Tottenham.
But he's ideal for them.
Exceptional.
He's what they need in
The
midfield.
weird thing with him is that Newcastle made a £60 million inquiry last season, and Leicester didn't want to know, and then Tottenham somehow have managed to get him for 40 million. I think that's exceptional business.
We walked away from it. And I don't know why. I would love to know the reasons behind it, what they were talking about behind closed doors. Because James Maddison is a player when missing.
More add-ons or something, and that's probably what killed it at that
more
time.
money, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was the London thing, because that is a thing to. I mean, we've even lost
to some players
down to London.
It does for some players, but as far as I was aware, Maddison was happy to come to Newcastle, but we pulled the plug on it, and I don't know why. It's disappointing because he's a player we're missing. We're missing someone who can, as a 10, who can get in between the lines, who can create things, change up the tactics if we need to. I would like to see
Bruno was that person.
But Bruno's been asked to play as a 6 at the moment, so he's not that player. I don't know what's going on.
Last season.
He was, because Longstaff was in the team, and now he's brought Tonali, who is an 8 as well. He's trying to play 3 8s in midfield, and it's not working.
But that's a prime example of how poor a manager Eddie Howe is. The way he's treated Longstaff is disgusting.
He's been injured.
He never did one thing wrong.
He's been injured. He's not fully fit. Come on, get your information before you come on and say stupid things like that, man. He's been on the bench.
Right, you two get back in the corners. Wait for the bell. And just listen.
Ding ding.
No, like I said, Tottenham at the minute. I can't lie. They look. I know everyone's going to go, lads. It's Tottenham. I get it. We all have the same joke. That joke goes around England. It's Tottenham. But they just seem to have that little bit more patience, seriousness about them under Posting. Whatever, I can't say his name. I mean, we have a couple of lads on here who are in the channel, and they're from Australia, and they know all about him. They think, Celtic fans love him. He's never had a bad word said about him, and I think he's got into Tottenham for me and got rid of the dead wood, the poison, and he's got rid of a lot of it. Harry Kane, I think, will be such a positive of Tottenham losing him in the end.
To be fair, when you've got a year left on your contract, Martin, and you're sitting there thinking, do I keep this guy because he is Spurs, or do I actually take 100 million? It was a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you'd have kept him for an extra year, that would have been that would just be stupidity personified.
Right, this is why I won't get excited by Spurs at the moment. They drew away to Brentford, not a bad result. They beat Man United at home. Man United are a shambles. They beat Bournemouth away, expected. They beat Burnley away. They haven't played anyone apart from Man United, and I don't really class Man United as a good team.
But the way that they beat Burnley 5-1 in the way that
5-2
plays football is 5-2 was exceptional. Bournemouth, easy. But you can only beat who's in front of them.
But this is what I'm saying to you, though. Let's judge Spurs when they've played some decent teams. They're playing Sheffield United next. They've had a very easy start to this Premier League campaign.
So have you.
No, that's fair enough. No, I will say that. I mean, if you look at the next after Sheffield United is when it'll come. They've got
Spurs.
London down.
They've got Arsenal,
and they've got Liverpool.
Then they've got Liverpool, and then
so those are the two that will show whether they've got it.
Let's judge them after those 2 games.
They always beat us. They always beat us down at the new White Hart Lane. We've not even scored a goal there yet, which is just crazy. But
that's mad.
We're just one of them teams. Andy's put Newcastle with Jai. Yeah, you should have been down to 9 men. Don't think there was Jai. Should have been down to 9 men. I agree with that.
Why?
Absolutely. VAR was on Newcastle's side that day.
Anthony Gordon got away with the red card because Joe Linton tried to snap the other guy. I can't remember who it was. Because of Joe Linton's challenge, Anthony Gordon got away with his red. And I've heard Newcastle fans admit that, Baz.
It was a bit dodgy. But why would we be down to 9? Whoa, why would we be down to 9? Why would we be down to 9?
Blatant, Baz.
Yeah, but why would we be down to 9? Anthony Gordon's one player, not 2.
No, it's about the Joe Linton one as well.
Yeah, but
the trouble was, because they were both at the same time, you should have been down to 10. One of them got away with it because they were both at the same time.
Joe Linton wasn't a red, though. I wouldn't have given that as a red. Personally, my opinion. I was very drunk when I watched the game, though.
Now you tell us.
Pete,
Baz,
Oh,
if
it's
someone
not-
else did what Joe
Yep.
Linton did, would you have wanted them sent off?
No.
No.
You lying bastard.
no, you know, he's Andy got because it was weird because Andy, remember,
Gordon's
Andy
was
Gordon
dodgy.
he got
And
sub 10 seconds after the challenger got in, so
And he did
Eddie
it
Howe
against-
knew he needed to get him off.
He did it against Liverpool as well, and he got away with it as well.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a habit of it. It's the
Well,
way
we're
players
talking
play
about
these days, though,
Newcastle.
don't they? They try and put the foot over the ball to drag it back, and when they miss the ball, it looks horrible.
Seeing as we're on Newcastle, Pete,
No, do we have to?
where you at with your window? What would you rate it? Because you got Harvey Barnes, Tonali, Livramento, Lewis Hall,
So
and
And then
was there
a host of youngsters.
We've got-
You brought in a youngster, didn't you? Sent out on loan.
yeah, Minty.
We've got more than that. There's loads of youngsters come through the door.
Yeah, I know, but well,
Yeah, it's the
if
Chelsea
I went through it
model
all. You got
again, Martin,
Harvey
isn't it?
Barnes, Minte, Livramento. You got Cathal Haffinen
Yeah.
and Travis Hernes.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. Obviously, ASM's gone out. Chris Wood went full time or permanent.
Yeah.
Longstaff release. Ryan Fraser's, which I know you lot will be all celebrating, has gone out to Southampton. Kieran Clark released. Minty went out to Feyenoord, as you just said. Carl Darlow went to Leeds, and yeah, there's a whole the list is
Host of
long as
youngsters, yeah.
released. So, Pete, we'll start with you. Where are you at with your window and your beginning of the season?
I think we've had a really good window. Would we like more? Possibly, yes. I think another centre back would have been good. The reason for that is Fabian Schär's not getting any younger now. That's the problem. So we could have done someone because I'm still not sure on Jamal Lascelles in a way. As well, of course, Dan Burns knocking on, who has been really poor lately as well. Tonali has been. I want to see more of Tonali rather than taking off after such a long time. I think.
Is there a reason he's doing that?
I don't know what is the problem. I mean, he's helping them. To me, he's helped controlling that midfield. It's Bruno you should be looking to take off because he's not looked convincing
Yeah,
at the
and I
moment.
know Baz is going to tell me he's up to speed, but it's every game.
It's every
On the
game.
exact same minute he goes
It was
off.
50. It was actually 58 minutes in a Brighton game.
The
It's
only
like
way
that's
we'll
just
know the
pre-planned.
reason why is we'll find out what the backroom staff are looking at. They all say that they monitor players and they have danger zones, and if they get near the danger zones, they whip them off and they don't play them or whatever it is.
It
There's
should have
something
been either.
that Tonali's not up to speed with Eddie Howe's fitness. We heard Anthony
Well-
Gordon say it after the under-21 championships. He said, I was not up to speed when I joined, up to the Newcastle fitness that they expect of his players. Tonali is probably not there yet. He's been playing for Milan in the Italian league. He's been walking around, bossing it. He doesn't, he's not used to the fast pace of the Premier League.
Maybe.
I think could be said for loads of other Italians that come to the Premier League, though.
Exactly.
Some shit goes down the fuck off.
There's not many Italians do well in the Premier League.
Not really. It's just that I think Tonali's helped controlling that midfield.
He has been. He's been brilliant.
He has been. So,
but if he's not fit enough to play 90 minutes, you do not risk the players.
Well,
That's what they're meant to be doing.
See, Ethan's put in. He thinks Newcastle had a better window than us. Should have kept Gundo for 2 more years. That's Gundo's come out and explained that today.
Yeah.
Whether I believe that or not,
Fair.
because apparently
Quality
Gundo
player
and
as
Pep
well.
they virtually live next door to each other. So why no conversation could have happened, I do not know. Kept Cancelo, no, because he's poison, he's cancerous, he needs to be gone, mate. Should have kept Palmer and Laporte. Your opinion?
Palmer's a weird one.
It is,
It's
actually.
not.
I would have kept Cole Palmer. Laporte was understandable because you've got a lot of defenders at your disposal, and £25 million for a 29-year-old is pretty good business. Let's be honest. Mahrez
Wasn't for us.
no, not
We
for
thought
you.
it was
But
a-
like,
Insult?
I think he only had a year left on his contract, though, didn't he?
No, he had to.
I'll tell you. I mean, I think the signing of Kovacic is a quality signing under the radar because he is an exceptional player and he's still only 29 as well. He's got at least 3 or 4 years in the guy. Gundogan going surprised me. I thought he probably would have stayed. And Cole Palmer being sold to Chelsea, I thought was quite odd. But then if the kid's sitting there saying, I want first team football, and you can't promise him
Put it
that.
this way, it wasn't just all football related.
It was.
Pep likes a certain attitude out of a player. And when that player's not giving or showing the proper attitude, let's put it on way, he was 21 and he thought he'd made football. Doesn't quite, and because someone I speak to, everyone on the channel knows, I got an update on it the other day. He needed to get out of Manchester. He needed to move out of Manchester. The crowd he hung around with weren't the most. How do I put it? You can't take the withing shot out the lad.
Sensible. Although
he needed
leaving,
to move.
I wouldn't have left to go to Chelsea though, because I just
that's
think it's a graveyard.
Why he's gone
Yeah,
there.
Chelsea should get their asses handed to them for the amount of money they're spending on shit.
Yeah,
And they're spending it on shit. That's the thing. That's the funny part. It's made them worse.
No, I'd argue against that, James. They're not spending it on that necessarily. They're buying a lot of talented players, but what they're missing is two vital ingredients. When you want to challenge for the title, you need to have a good culture, a good team spirit, and they've got none of that at all.
no,
And all you've got is just basically a list of individuals that don't play together for each other. They're just playing for themselves, and unfortunately, it's never ever going to work. And that's why they're in Palace's shadows, and that's where they'll stay.
They've bought some absolute quality players, but like you said, they're not mixing together. They're not blended together.
To gel.
Fair to say.
The other issue that's in there as well is Poch's got exactly the same issue that Tuchel had, that Potter had. He can't and won't be able to pick or know his best 11 because he's got so many options. Even though they farmed out a load of people to Saudi Arabia, they've still got ridiculous numbers within a squad. They've got the biggest squad in the Premier League, and it's going to be exactly the same scenario where you're going to have disgruntled players, you're going to have a bad culture, a bad team spirit, and they're just going to get overrun by teams. Apart from your Lutons and Sheffield United and stuff like that, they're the only results they're going to pick up. And I think that against the top teams, that they're going to get done every time. I think
and FFP will come back at them again.
16 players. But I think they're all out with FFP because they've been quite clever.
8-year contracts, and they don't come into.
Well,
play
not only that, they've
season.
sold a lot of their youth off. And what people don't realise with the youth is it's 100% profit back into your box. So like Mason Mount, that full 70 million that those idiots down the road went and paid for, that goes straight. The full 70 goes into Chelsea's books. Straight away. So they've been kind of clever because they bought. It was the other one they got rid of because, like I said, they brought in 16 players, and they got rid of Kai Havertz, obviously. Rubens Loftus-Cheek, the 17 and 18.
Hudson-Odoi they got rid of.
Hudson-Odoi. So
Mendy.
a lot of it, they've got away with
two
it.
old defenders as well. They got rid of. They got rid of.
Koulibaly.
Got rid of loads.
Which means they'll turn up at your place on loan in about 6 months.
Yeah.
The Keba go, do they?
Adam?
The Keba go.
Yeah, he went to Man.
He did, yeah.
Real Madrid on loan.
Oh, yeah.
They basically got rid. Well, Kante went. Kai Havertz went. Arsenal are still laughing at that one. Obviously,
they got mugged massively.
Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic went. Lewis Hall, obviously, to your place. Lukaku on loan. Hudson-Odoi, Ethan Apandu, Koulibaly. Eduardo Mendy went as well for an undisclosed fee. So did Koulibaly, went for undisclosed. Derek Abu and Aubameyang went as well. Aspilicueta went. Kante went. I mean, it just Bakayoko even. I could go through.
They've even been clever with Lewis Hall's move to Newcastle because it's a loan.
Is that 100%? Are you paying all his wages?
I don't know what the deal has done, but I know that it's a loan, but it's an obligation to buy.
So if Chelsea sign him, then that again goes down as pure profit.
Yeah, 28 million pure profit back in. So they are being clever. because everyone thinks these 8-year deals, UEFA's rules are they can only pay it. The amortization can only go on 5 years anyway. So they can hand them 20-year deals if they want. They're getting around it because they're selling the youth out. I don't know. You know, they're being very quite clever and cute. But then again, everyone thinks Todd Bowley owns Chelsea, and he actually doesn't.
Saudi that owns it.
Yeah. I told someone that yesterday, and they were shell-shocked. They were like, no, he don't. I went, yeah, the Saudis actually own because they bought into Clear Lake. No one knew it.
And that's why in January, when Newcastle was struggling against relegation, half those players that went out to Saudi Arabia will be on loan at Newcastle.
Won't be. Can't do it.
It's absolutely
It won't happen.
No, I mean, because Baz, I didn't get your take on Newcastle. Where you at? Are you?
So window-wise,
you've lost 3, lost 1. I'm not going to say Eddie Howe's under, because I think anyone thinking he should be sacked is mental.
Sorry, Martin. How many games have they lost in a row?
3. But I do think he's going to feel it under his collar. Because the thing is, your target is, I mean, I watched the documentary. Your owner is after the number 1 spot.
Of course he is. Eventually.
You won't get the number 1 spot losing more than 5 games in the Premier League.
We won't, but it's only been 18 months.
No, I agree. But how long do you think he's going to get? Say he lost the Brentford game.
He's still going to get longer. I mean, if you listen to the documentary, they actually said when a club over succeeds and qualifies for the Champions League, they will be a dip off. They said that. They said they expect an extreme dip off, not a small dip off, quite a big dip off. So they're expecting it this year. And they know they haven't done enough in the transfer window to support going on 4 fronts because of the FFP problems. Our window was a 6 out of 10 for now, but it's a 9 out of 10 for the future because of the players we bought and at the ages we bought them. Then that's the best way to sum it up. Yes, the start hasn't been great, but we've had the toughest start in the Premier League. And we still managed to thrash Villa 5-1.
You've had 4 easy games.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
We have it, 40s.
For God's sake.
We had it tough on
paper. We ain't easy.
There you go.
After Bournemouth, we had Chelsea, Brighton, who we'd never beaten, and Luton. And I wasn't expecting us to take 10 points.
Yeah, but you've had two easy games in there, Bournemouth and Luton.
No, Brighton wouldn't be an easy game for us because we hadn't beaten them in Premier League until.
Yeah, but that's the small club mentality, though, isn't it? Saying
Sorry,
that
James,
it's a hard game. At the end of the day, we had Villa,
James,
Man City, Liverpool, and Brighton away, who was a really tough game. All those
Sorry,
teams
James, what was your result
top...
against Brighton and what was Newcastle's result against Brighton?
We beat them 3-1 and we absolutely... And do you know what? We played terrorist football against them with only 17% possession and we still didn't beat them. So,
snatch and grab. Just like Liverpool against Newcastle.
Just
snatch
2
and
good
grab.
counters and we got them.
Exactly. That's all it takes.
Yeah, but when you look back on it in 6 months, is it going to be we got 3 points or was it how we got the 3 points?
It doesn't matter how you get 3 points. If you win a football match, you're going to go away buzzing, aren't you? It doesn't really matter how you do it.
Yeah, I'm not having a dig at Newcastle. I'm not.
As long as the results keep coming in.
I think the difference is like with us, we know the journey you're on.
Yeah, and I understand the journey from watching how you did it. Yeah, and I understand after 18 months.
Some of your fans are already in space stations and winning the European Cup next year. I don't know where. And I get it, that's the exciting part.
But it doesn't help when the bookies come out and say Newcastle are 21 to win the Champions League after not being in it for 21 years. Our odds are worse than the finalist and the semi-finalist last season in Italy, in Napoli and in Milan. That's crazy. And then, the bookies have put us second favourites to get out of the group stage.
Wow, really?
Why?
Yes.
I don't mean. I don't mean that.
You tell me. No, how are we, as a club who's not been in the Champions League for 21 years, the second favourites to get out of the group and 20-1 to win the whole competition?
It's right, Martin. That's the problem.
No, but I heard someone say, which will. I know the St. James's Park atmosphere is amazing, but
not really, Martin, because the flags are paid for by the club.
No, but it's like I said. What do you think you're going to go to when you get the yellow wall at Dortmund? You ain't going to get an atmosphere in there.
It don't scare me. Like going up Newcastle, I see that and I'm not scared. I am not scared of that.
It's not about making the opposition scared, James.
Well,
it's
it is.
about
It
creating.
It is.
can't help.
The only
It's
thing
not
that
the bowling
scares
ground,
me
is it?
down in
You didn't see
Newcastle
the
is when
bowling
the
ground.
fans take their tops off.
Oh, Jesus. One guy takes his top off because he's got NUFC written
Yeah,
across his
Pete, will you
massive
stop
belly.
taking your top off?
I know,
please?
people told you about this. The flags isn't to be intimidating, it's to show support to the players and it's to edge
That's not
them
true,
on.
guys. I've seen loads of people waving flags trying to stab people in the eye with them.
What, their own
And that happened
fans
to me
sitting
at a
next
bloody
to
game
them?
over here. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the sports section. Some twat threw a flag in my face and it took my eye out.
You probably deserved it.
Here's a
didn't
question
deserve
from
No, I
the
didn't.
board, or from the Patrick, who's a part of our channel. Would you take third in the group and go down to Europa if you were giving it now?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, they would.
I would.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why not?
I
Then we'll
would
get
agree
West
with you.
Ham and we'll beat them.
I think we'll top our group.
That's
as
if
well,
they're
to be
still in the competition when we
Ooh.
finish third in the.
Yeah,
in the
we're
Champions
topping
League.
our group. We've got Olympiakos, Freiburg, and some team from Serbia.
There's
and we're in
two
Group
teams
A.
that have beaten you already that you just mentioned.
Why is everyone having a big debate on João Cancelo in the comments? He's gone.
He's a cunt.
He's a
Yeah.
cancer. Bye. He ain't come.
If he-
Listen, I'm going to say
He's
this.
gonna
to
start
everyone in
off
the comments.
Thursday.
Why did
João
Bayern Munich get
Cancelo
rid of him? Bayern Munich got rid of him
Never
because
play
he
for
was an
City
idiot.
again. Get over
Exactly.
it. Move on.
Well said.
Yeah, just listen. Pep and him were just not talking. Right.
Do they live next door to each other?
No, Gundo and Pep actually did. That was
Really?
the weird thing about that whole we never spoke. It was a very weird situation.
Mm.
But anyway,
Probably throwing his dog poop over the fence.
I don't know what they've been doing.
Shagging someone's
They're not
missus.
neighbours anymore. Pep's moved out. He wants to move somewhere.
Shagging
He wants
his
to move
missus,
into
maybe?
the city centre now or something.
Mhm.
Or he was in the city centre and might be moving out to Wilmslow. I can't remember the actual thing of it. So you two aren't worried then.
Nope.
Good
No.
window. And
Yep.
you'll-
6 out of 10 window, 9 out of 10 for the future, 6 out of 10 for now. We should have done a bit more for the first team. But
Has
restrictions.
any of your predictions for your placings changed after the window's closed and you've got?
I did say top 4. I now think top 6.
I see. I've still got you 6. But I said that. I think I said that, didn't I, Pete, at the start? I said 6.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close call for who finishes 5th. And 5th is the extra Champions League position because of the league format they're going into. It's going to be tight.
Right. I'm going to come to you, Steve. I know we're going to go through everyone's, but Crystal Palace, you managed to keep hold of Eze and Elisa.
Quality players.
I've got 2 viewpoints on our window.
Shite. And
One
even more
that's quite
shite.
obscure, and that is that now we're in a position where we've got a real spine of quality within our side. And we added to that with Lerma, getting Lerma on a free, and he's been player of the season so far. He's been exceptional. He's not put a foot wrong, and him and Doucouré work brilliantly together. So Gui and Addison keeping them two, Eze and Elise. What the turnaround on Elise was crazy in my opinion. Because
It was.
I genuinely expected him to go, and I couldn't for the life of me understand what the hell was going on. And then for literally a day later to be announced that he signed a new contract with a 75 million release clause.
That's mad.
And I think probably what happened is that Elise realised with all of the turnaround that goes on at Chelsea and the fact that if he went there, there's 7 other players that he's going to be competing against across that midfield. It's like, where does he fit in? And he's still injured and he ain't going to get the game time. And I think even as good as he is, he'd probably end up getting loaned out. That's how poor it is. Keeping Eze was brilliant as well. And I think the signing of Franco, we haven't seen anything of him yet. He's been injured, but Newcastle and Chelsea were after him. And, the fact that we got him over them, I think is a bit of a coup. Bit confused as to why we bought Holding. Didn't really make any sense to me. Given the fact that we had a kid called O'Brien who went to Lyon for less than £1 million, and he looked really good pre-season. So in one aspect, our windows are 4 out of 10 because we should have signed a right winger. We should have, left winger. We should have signed a striker, and we should have signed a right back. We spent £9 million since 2005 on the right back position at Crystal Palace. That's how bad it is, and we still got Joel Ward filling that position, and he's the weak link, and he's targeted every time. So from that respect, obviously it's a 4 out of 10. But if you flip it on its head, keeping Elise, signing Lerma, is an 8 out of 10 from that side, and keeping all of those players, because there's so many clubs that were after. You know, Newcastle kept coming and inquiring about Anderson, Decore at Liverpool, Eze, Spurs wanted him, you guys inquired, and I think we've done really, really well to keep all of them. Will we keep them? Absolutely not. Next summer, we'll probably see a big influx of those players going, but we've got a year now to scout, to research, to look at the data, to get the right players in, and we have to act. So on the first day of next summer's window, we need to be signing the players that are going to replace those players, and that is the acumen that we need to portray, because they are going to go, and they deserve to go to bigger clubs, bigger opportunities, because they are exceptional players. And I think we'll do well this season. On the back of it, I think we might scrape into the top 10, depending on how injuries go. It's going to be tough, but if Edouard and Mateta keep scoring goals, which they seem to be at the moment, when they weren't last season, that makes a huge difference to the outcomes.
I mean, I've got to say...
Can I just address that comment in the thing? They're saying that Newcastle were 20-1 for a reason. They do realise I actually think 20-1 is too short of odds for Newcastle.
Yeah, I think
21 years, we should be 40-1, 50-1.
Yeah.
To put us at 20-1 is mental. And to put us second favourites to get out of the group of death is mental.
I think Bazzy's saying they've been generous with Newcastle.
Well, no, they haven't been generous. They've been shite to the punters, because who's going to back Newcastle at 20-1? If they were 50-1, you'll probably get a load of Geordies putting £1 each way on, because it's worth it. But at 20-1, it's not even worth it. Keep your bin lid in your pocket.
No, generous as in that they're thinking that you'll do that. I mean, I just looked at it, Steve. You released 8 players. No, I didn't realise James MacArthur was still at your place, but obviously he's gone in the summer. I mean,
he retired.
I don't know about you lot. I give it more about 6 to a 7, because I think, because to me, it's like us, Pacetta. I think keeping Walker and Bernardo ups our transfer window ratings more. So to me, yes, you bought well, but I think keeping Elise and Eze is massive for you.
It is.
So that's why
he did address that. He did say keeping hold of players makes it an 8 out of 10 window, but it's a 4 out of 10 because they haven't signed enough.
But you've had a cracking start.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. I mean, at Arsenal, I thought was a bit weird. It was a weird game. I'm not being impressed with Arsenal.
The weird thing against Arsenal, Martin, is there's 3 standard things in life. Obviously, death, taxes, and Palace against 10 men never works. Man United last season, 10 men. Chelsea, 10 men. Whoever we play with 10 men, we just don't know how to play, particularly the top 6 sides. We give far too much respect. And realistically, what we should be doing is just absolutely battering them at every opportunity and going for it. But we just don't do it. And we just try to walk the ball into the area against Arsenal in the last half an hour, and it was just really frustrating. It was disappointing of their penalty, because we switched off 4 times in that game in exactly the same way. They allowed them to take quick free kicks, and unfortunately Johnson didn't have any choice but to bring him down. So it's a bit annoying, but we just don't know how to play against 10 men. It's just a common denominator that happens every time it happens.
No, I would say everyone's had a good window. That's it. Obviously, some others as well. There's ours. There's been loads. It's weird because the start of the window, everyone thought City we were in decline. Everyone was leaving. But when you look at the people we let go, they were approaching. They were going past the best. You know, when you're approaching 31, 32, and the other ones just were not getting in. They weren't playing. Mahrez wasn't playing. Laporte wasn't playing. Cancelo, we know why he's gone. Those are all arguing in the chat about. And we brought in Kovacic. Believe it or not, I'm going to ask this later on. I think Kovacic is my transfer that could be my signing of the summer at the moment because he's fitted in like a glove. So he looks like he's played for City for 2 or 3 years, not 2 or 3 games. Doku, very exciting, gives us another option. We never had that directness option available. And Nunes, I'm not sure where the Nunes one, because obviously Paqueta was done, is what my understanding was. Done about you, James, obviously. Then the FA inquired. Because if you notice, that's why it went quiet for 3 days. Because that was when the FA were informing City that stop your deal at the minute. Because they'd agreed a fee, I don't know if you'd heard that. The fee was agreed at 85 million quid. And we just got told to stop because they were going to... Because the way it rules, when an FA does an inquiry, they've got to inform all the teams in the league.
Before it
goes public, they've got to inform them. It's in case you are doing deals.
Right. That makes sense.
So if you're doing a deal with someone...
It's good, protecting the club.
Yeah, they can't sign them. And then, because I know now City is still on the radar for us, but we can't, no club can now speak with West Ham about him. They have to deal with the FA now while it's under this inquiry.
Is he guilty or not?
I don't. James, where are you at with the Paqueta thing? Are you...
I don't really. It's not bothering anyone at the club right now because he stayed on.
He's still playing though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's still very class.
Yeah, Ivan Toney still played until he got found guilty by court. And we all knew he was guilty, but he still played for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was weird though, because wasn't it Betway who brought it out? Wasn't it your sponsor who brought it out into the public?
Oh, there's obviously something going on in the background there. They're trying to get rid of the Betway as a sponsor. The sponsor went, fuck you, they go and have your best player.
Could you imagine Sullivan, though, if he stands there and finds out it's the main sponsors who dobbed him in, and he's like, cheers for that.
We had sponsors, but we had Esperbet as well that went out of business. That went out of business. And who was the other one? We had another betting sponsor that screwed us out. But having shitty sponsors are part of West Ham.
Brilliant.
No, but so, I mean, for me, I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8. I would have liked probably... See, I'm just being greedy. Because even Gavardio, I can't complain at. I mean, the way I'm talking at the minute, I'm up in ours all the time. I might even put us in the top 3.
Oh, Gavardio was quality.
He was a good player.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, we've not spent a penny. We're like the net spend champions this summer. We've actually brought in more than we've spent, which is mad because we've sold. I think our academy's brought us over nearly 100 million in. Then you're looking at Mahrez, Laporte, etc. all out. And then with the Walker, I mean, the Bernardo contract extension's even great for us.
He's a quality player. I like him. I like watching him play football.
Very underrated.
Someone's asked, was those Newcastle fans take Mbappe? No.
No.
Move on.
I don't think anyone would take him.
He's only going to one place, isn't he? Let's be realistic. He's going to stay there for the year and then he'll go to Real
Palace, isn't he?
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one club who nobody expected this. Now, maybe someone did, but I don't remember anyone mentioning this. Burnley. How have Burnley gone bottom of the league when no one had them bottom of the league? I know it's only 4 games, but everyone had them as like top 10.
I think I had them about bottom half, but in the bottom half of the top.
I never had them top 10, nowhere near top 10. I had them surviving.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on our channel then. But not a lot of people, maybe it was the company thing, I don't know. But not a lot of people had them bottom 3 or bottom. I know it's early, but has that shocked anyone, Burnley?
Not really.
No.
To be honest.
Not really, actually. It actually
Newly
hasn't.
promoted team. trying to play
Not
good
really
football.
for two reasons, Martin. The first one is that I think they bought a lot of attacking players, quite a few wingers and stuff, and they completely ignored the defensive side. And with the way he's playing, he just seems to be like gung ho, and they're playing good football and they're going for it, but they're completely forgetting about the fact that you do need to defend in the Premier League, and they're getting found out.
I mean, they've spent.
I think they'll come good. They just need that first win, don't they, to get the
They
confidence.
do, yeah.
I mean,
But there's three worse teams than Burnley, though, isn't there? I mean, let's face it.
Yes. Well, right now, I'm not sure, you know, Baz.
They've had a difficult start, though. I mean,
He's right. They are free, Martin. You've got Sheffield United, you've got Luton, and then Newcastle.
There it is. Oh, man.
Is there anyone here who thinks transfer window shocked them, amazed them? Can be any team you think wasn't expecting what they've done.
West Ham. I honestly didn't think they'd get that kind of quality because of how poor last season was. To attract players,
they won a
London
trophy.
helps. Yeah, but look where they finished in the Premier League, though. They were fighting relegation all season.
Yeah, West Ham upset you, James. Have you done something to
No,
them tonight?
not at all.
Right move, West Ham.
I think West Ham have had an absolute fantastic window, and
we left it
been
later
quite
than
surprised at
everyone
how
else.
well they've bought.
It's not even David Moyes. It's Tim Stuyton as our director of football, because he's the one that's actually getting off his arse, going on private jets all over the bloody world to negotiate with players. And when he does it, he stays up all night long doing it. He did it with Kudus. He went over to Bulgaria, where went on a red-eye flight there and negotiated with the agents for like 6 hours overnight.
And that's how it should be done.
Yeah, and got it done.
I mean, mine. If you look at people's sort of mental health on this call tonight, look at the face that Pete's pulling, the face that Baz is pulling. I mean, even last night, Newcastle under 21s lost as well. So,
How do you know that?
Because this is Steve in a nutshell. He knows more about Newcastle.
I don't watch City under 21s that much. Never
They
mind.
lost
I don't care about their under
21s.
21s.
Wrexham battered them. Do you know, this is how bad it is at Newcastle.
I mean, I agree with Andy, by the way, on this. If it wasn't for company, nobody on here would give two shits about Burnley. I'm not going to lie.
That's true.
The company thing is, I think we've all been a bit subjective with the Vincent Company thing being that. I want to talk about our rivals. I am going to get to Everton, so Baz and Pete can wax lyrical. You need to tell me one day what this hatred on Everton is, where it's come from. I don't get it.
Scouse Mackhams.
But to be fair, Martin, it's very obsessive behaviour that then both.
I like Everton,
and the anger and the aggression from
I don't mind them
as towards Everton. I just think they need help. They really need help, in my opinion.
Do you know what it is with Everton? You'll get this when you had to deal with the other side for 3 years, like we had to. Literally, week in, week out, we had Liverpool fans coming at us all the time. And we were like, yeah, I don't mind Everton. So Everton were like the nice scousers to us. United. I mean, listen, I could sit here and laugh. But I feel like I'm bullying and I'm just being cruel now at this stage.
They're in a massive transition, aren't they, really? Let's face it.
No, they're just shite.
Well, there's that.
That's why I said they'll finish outside the top 6. Sorry, why are you bringing Johnny Evans, of all people, on a contract extension?
I laughed when that.
Because everyone
So did I. I'm thinking
Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans in 2023 should not be a thing.
Someone put a great tweet out. They said they thought it was a Wes Morgan testimonial match.
No, but of all places, the Emirates should roll those two out.
I know.
I think we've just lost James, by the way.
They had to, though, didn't they? I mean, they've got that many injuries. This is the problem with Man United. He's inherited an aging team. Then he's decided to inherit the wrong characters. 2 of them look like they're wrong-uns for whatever they've done in private life. One of them's off to Getafe, which is ridiculous.
Allegedly. Don't be doing this on our show, you.
What do you mean? He's at Getafe, and
Who's this? Like?
No, Joe, you said wrong'uns. Let's not.
well, they're wr'uns, aren't they?
Who's off to Getafe?
What's he called again? The idiot who beat his
MJ.
wife.
MJ.
Yeah, Mason Greenwood. And then there's Anthony, who the Man United have put a statement out today saying they're considering all options, but they will not be saying anything more until they make a decision. That's two of their players, two of their youngins that aren't controlled properly. And it just shows you that when you do the recruitment, it's not about buying just the player, it's about buying their attitude, what they do in their personal life. There's so much more that goes into it these days. I mean, Anthony was just a waste of money in the end, isn't it?
Look what's happened with Sancho now.
Yeah, Sancho as well.
And do you know what? By the way, anyone who's on about Parma, that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
When City had put so much time and effort, and these were Pep's words, they'd put money, time, effort into Jadon Sancho. And because he wanted first team football at the age of 18, 19, again, he thought he'd made it. Now he went to Dortmund, did very well, got his move to the Rags, and I don't know what has happened with him. I'd love to be a fly on the wall because it was weird. Ten Hag came out with that statement after the 3-1 at Arsenal. And then Sancho walks out with a new one 30 minutes later. Like, no one's written a statement that quick in 30 minutes to respond.
Yeah.
So that must have already been something's happened pre-match for that all to kick off.
Yep.
And
it's mad. I mean, they're paying him what, 375 grand a week?
The only thing I say of Anthony, it's his ex coming out, and we don't know whether, some exes like to try and ruin people's careers, don't they, and ruin reputations and stuff
Certain
like that.
That which has now come out, by the way, because we found out that they were all on WhatsApp and, researching him and finding how much he was worth, and then they wanted to watch. Not saying Benjamin Mendy's comments were not vulgar in the way he treated women, but it's been proved in court he was set up at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. They tried to do it with Rooney as well, didn't they? There was two women load him into a room.
Yeah, but we don't know what's happened with.
We don't know
with Anthony.
But it's not looking good, is it? When there's two of them in the club that have. Yeah, that's so.
See, Paul,
I feel sorry for them in a way. I really.
Evans is an upgrade.
Evans is an upgrade. Yeah,
who has to buy
Maguire, isn't he?
Who has to buy Reguilon as well? Reguilon.
Don't, Pete. You're making me laugh.
No, I think so. He's shit.
No, Amrabat, I like. I don't mind Amrabat.
He's not bad,
he looks a decent player. If Mason Mount's the weird one.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know what. I don't know if that's a homegrown signing or what. I don't know what that signing's about.
Well, he doesn't class as a homegrown player in a way, does he? For them, because he never trained for them when he was a kid. So it does in the other bit, the English part. Yeah. I suppose obviously I work with a lot of different varied fans, and I asked a Man United fan, and I said, "Look, what do you actually think of Mason Mount?"
Stop. Let's stop right now.
Go on.
You work with what?
Various different fans. I work in York, mate. They don't support York City. Right. They support Leeds. They support Man United. They support Liverpool. Support Huddersfield. They support so many.
Anyone from Manchester support United? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. So I asked him. I said, what do you think of Mason Mount? He said, you know what? He's an average signing that'll do well against teams at Old Trafford who are mid-table, and he plays as a 10. But other than that, it's a weird signing. And that's coming from a Man United fan.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think of United's window and start to the season?
I think just smacks of desperation. I've got nothing against Manchester United. I do take great enjoyment when they lose, just like I do with Newcastle. Not quite as much of enjoyment when Newcastle lose, because that's even funnier. But Mason Mount is obviously a strange signing. I mean, he was Chelsea's player of the season, and then all of a sudden they sold him. So I was genuinely quite shocked by that, to be honest. The kid from Atalanta, I mean,
I like him.
For someone that basically has scored 9 goals. I mean,
no, I think that's a gamble as well.
It's a gamble, but the market is very, very.
I thought you meant Amrabat. No, you're on about the Wish Island. My mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Amrabat was quality in the World Cup, and it could turn out to be a good signing. Who knows? But at 29, again, it's another one that's got no longevity, and what makes Man United the funniest transfer business of the window is the fact that they gave Johnny Evans a new contract. I mean.
And apparently, which comments just come in there. Apparently, the Glaziers are now not willing to sell the club. Which
that
never were.
Which I believe they never were.
They never were.
Came out.
They were just being a bit clever by saying it was a clever move by saying we're going to sell. The share price went right up. They made a lot more money out of it. They've cashed in some of that dividend.
No, it's gone all the way back.
And then they turn around and knowing full well that by saying, "Oh, we're not going to sell," there would be a loss, but the club's still worth more than it was before. That all happened. So they knew what they were doing.
Liverpool fans fell for it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because this is the problem with fans and what they want and what is reality. Because they hear one thing and they take it. It's like, John W. Henry never said Liverpool were on the market. What he said was they were open to investment.
Yeah.
There was none of the words ever came out they were for sale. The Glazers have never said they were for sale. Again, it was the investment side. And they were looking at the guy from Failsworth. What's he called? Oh, not the Sheikh. Can't remember the local guy. Anyway, they were looking at him, but he'd already had a nibble at Chelsea and was a Chelsea season ticket holder. And then suddenly wanted to rock into United when he couldn't get hold of Chelsea. Radcliffe, that's it. So John Radcliffe, thank you. And then I don't know what. It's a weird one. I mean, it's been funny for us because the meltdowns over the last 48 hours have been hilarious.
But the thing with it, though, Martin, the stupid part of it is like a club has always got a ceiling, especially Man United, who are the biggest club in the world from that point of view. And they sat there and said, we want £6 billion for at the sale.
They're up there.
And they knew full well that it would push and rocket the share price up. But the fan base are so deluded. I mean, they're even more deluded than Newcastle.
And the Newcastle fans.
No, they aren't. Don't get me wrong, United are up there, but I think they're not now the...
No,
but it's the same with Spurs and the Levy out and the Enoch out brigade.
That's us now, by the way, is the most profitable club in the world.
They're never gonna sell the club. The club is making a lot of money. Yes, they're in debt, but Spurs are making a lot of money, and Daniel Levy's never going to sell the club, and Joe Lewis, and they just have to accept it.
I thought Joe Lewis was going to sell. I thought he had to sell. I thought he has to sell now because of the trouble he's in.
Oh yeah, there's someone. Yeah, there's someone has to. Well, once he's proven guilty, then he has to sell.
Yeah, he's got to
if
sell.
He's proven guilty, yes, but I don't know. I mean, it's like Palace. I can't stand our owners. I don't understand how we've got two people in Harris and Blitzer that are worth £14 billion, yet they won't invest in players. And it's just really frustrating. But at the end of the day,
you said 14 million or 14?
Yeah, you got that wrong.
40 billion.
I was going to say, bloody hell, Steve, they shouldn't be owning the club at 14 million.
No, 14 billion is what they're worth, but they would rather go out and buy NHL franchises and baseball franchises. That's all they care about. And it renders the ownership useless. So it frustrates the life out of me. But I also know I'm quite sensible and got the acumen enough to sit there and think they ain't going anywhere. You can want them to go all a lot, but it's not going to make any difference. They're here to stay. The same as Levy and co are here to stay. The same as the Glazers are here to stay because they want their dividends. They want their share of the pay, and they spend a lot of money on players, granted. But Man United fans seem to want the world. Spurs fans seem to want the world, and sometimes it's not all that easy. And the Spurs fan base kicking off over their window. I think they've had an exceptional window.
Well, a decent window.
You know, Brennan Johnson, great signing. Maddison, exceptional signing. Van der Ven, a young centre back. He's taken to, you know, like a duck to water. Their keeper as well. They've signed some really good players, but you can't get rid of a whole squad of players like that and farm them out. As Newcastle found out last year, you know, they were never going to get rid of the Lascelles and the Frasers and people like that because they're on big wages and they're not going to
That's
make
the problem. Yeah, on far too many.
Did you get rid of Hendricks?
I
Yeah,
want
he
on
went
again.
now. Yeah,
he's gone now.
he's on his last year, so
Well,
that's
he'll
it.
be on his
over
last
after
year,
this
but
one.
after this season, he'll be released.
But you have to look at it from the point of view. If you're Fraser and you're on 60, 70 grand a week or whatever,
Oh, you're not going to move.
realistically, you're not going to say, oh, do you know what? I'll go to a championship club. And that championship club is not going to pay them the same wage. It's going to probably be half that, if not less or more. And that's not going to entice you. And if you've got 2 years left on your contract, you're going to sit there and think, well, I might as well just ride it out because I'm going to earn more here than I'm going
Hayden's
elsewhere.
doing. Hayden's got 2 more years left on his contract, and he's getting paid enough. So
I don't know. Obviously, we'll go another 10 minutes. Are you all right for another 10?
yeah, another 10.
Yeah, of course.
Yusuf will kill me if I don't talk about his boys. The team who I actually think will run as the closest in the title race is Liverpool. They've had a very stop-start window because they've got the midfield rebuild they wanted. I don't think they were expecting. Well, they've got 4 or 5 midfielders in and sold 4 or 5 of them back out. So I don't know if it's. They've got the rebuild, but I don't think they've got the squad depth.
Yeah.
And obviously, there is still the Mo Salah.
They would be stupid not to sell him. They would be
The thing with
stupid.
Liverpool, you got a 32-year-old on 400 grand a week, and you're being offered 150 million pound or whatever.
215 million pound.
Get rid.
They would be stupid not to sell him.
Silly not to
come back
take
tomorrow.
that.
They'll be at 300 million, and then if you come back, I don't know what Liverpool are doing. They're just waiting for it to go up and up and up.
The thing is, it might stop their season this season, but think of the future. Think of the January window, the next 2 summer windows. They could go out and blitz whatever they want to do with FFP because of how high that contract will be. It'll be a 3-year contract for Salah, 215 million. Times that by 3, you're looking at 645 million pound FFP, aren't you? So they would be absolutely mental not to take that deal.
What about though the fear of JW Henry not giving the money to Liverpool?
There is
that. What we've just said about owners wanting to take money out.
Yeah, to dividends and all that sort of stuff.
FSG aren't very open with the purse strings. They do like a net spend trophy. So I think the worry for Liverpool, if you said to a Liverpool fan, here's 215 million, that's going back into the team, I think they'll take the short-term game for the short-term loss for a long-term gain.
Yeah.
I think the worry is they don't think they're going to get that money.
It is a worry, but on paper, looking at the deal as a fan, thinking about the future, if the money is going to be spent back into the team, you would 100% take that deal in my eyes. I think you'd be daft not to.
Would anyone here not take it if it was? Because I've said this, by the way. KD, if someone came to me right now, well, City, and went, here's 200 million to KDB, I'm driving him to the airport. As much as I love him, he's 32 and he's got injuries. 200 million, I'd snap that hand off.
Absolutely, you would.
There is a limit to every player.
Of course there is. Shelf life.
So,
Steve, you've gone very quiet.
All day long, I'd be saying he needs to go. Because at 32, I mean, you only have to look at Henderson at 33, and they were offered, obviously, what they were offered for him. It was a no-brainer. And at the end of the day, he's gone for 700 grand a week, and he's protecting his family for generations to come. But, you know, where's he going to get the game time? You know, they've spent 55 million on McAllister. They spent 60 million on that Hungarian lad from
Szoboszlai.
He looks a quality player. And at the end of the day, you know, like I said right at the beginning of the show, there's life after a player, and no one player is bigger than any club. And, you know, like the uproar of Wilf going, but it was always going to happen. 5-year contract lapsed. He wanted Champions League football. He wanted trophies. And yeah, he's gone to a Farmers League, but he's going to win trophies. He's going to play Champions League football. He's not bothered. He's got what he wants from that perspective. So people like De Bruyne, people like, Salah, who, let's face it, the Saudi League have got an aim. They want to be the biggest competition.
He's the poster boy for them, isn't he?
And
lives their kind of life,
it's
doesn't he?
marquee signing for them, and it really brings in a lot of subsidiary aspects to their league and what goes on and the interest and stuff like that. So those are the sort of players they're going to be going in for, and it's only going to increase. January and next summer will get dwarfed.
Do you think it'll increase? Because I'm not sure. I don't think they'll come back for Salah. I think this might be a one-time deal. Because here's the question, and this is my question on the Saudi League. In 12 months' time, things may be very different over there. Because FIFA aren't going to allow them to do this forever.
FIFA can't.
At some point,
really
they're going to
step
go.
in, can they?
Yeah,
they can't because they're not included in European competitions, so that there is no.
No, but they want to.
They want to. That's when it'll step in.
That's what I'm saying. The long-term aim is to get them home. It's like Sefrin came out after the Champions League draw, and he went, "If you want to do, he point blank said, no, we're not going to allow you in. You're not in Europe. You can't host anything. You're just signing players." Because what was the quote? The exact quote was, "I don't see Mbappe and Haaland going to Saudi Arabia." When that happens, I get worried. Not when they're signing players who nobody knows where they've gone to.
The thing is the kind of comparison is quite simple, isn't it? You only have to look at what China tried to do, and they tried to get all those players to come over, and it failed epically, and it's gone right downhill on the back of it. And there's a strong chance that might happen in Saudi, but
do you not think the Saudis though have got
money talks? We all know UEFA and FIFA are as corrupt as anything. So would you be surprised if they come out and the news was breaking news? Saudi Arabia have had confirmation of a Champions League spot. Would you be surprised? I wouldn't be.
But that means Newcastle are in trouble then, because then they've got dual ownership. No, I'm being serious with that.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But again,
I mean, Newcastle have
the Red Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, if that does happen,
I don't know how this rule works with all this.
There's only one justified outcome that should happen. If that does happen, Newcastle should be automatically relegated to the Championship.
Here we go. There's one thing I'll say about the Saudi League to the China League. I think the Saudis are a lot more balanced and understand that what they're doing is going to take years. That's why PIF said we're going to be investing in these teams for the next 2 years, then we'll sell them off to the highest bidders to try and grow the league and to do it. And I think they're in it for the long haul, where I think China got bored, to be honest with you. I think they realised it wasn't.
The World Cup? Because haven't they got 2030 plastered all over? From
what
I've read and what I've seen, they've got it's all after the World Cup bit as well. Obviously, you've got the World, because they want to come in the World Club. Obviously, we forget the change in the World Club World Cup. So
that 10 times in a row, Martin, without stopping.
Exactly, I've got to get used to that. But obviously, that's changing in 2025.
Yep.
And going to America for this June and July, which I don't know if that's going to work with the Premier League, because that means none of the players are going to get a break. They're just going to run right through the year. But apparently, that's what one of their goals is.
Right.
I don't see FIFA allowing this to carry on forever and ever without some financial regulation, or to get rid of FSR.
That will happen, Martin. That'll be guaranteed to happen, because they do want to be part of the Champions League and they do want to be part of the European competitions. They have to bring themselves into line with the way that the European
that's why they're in trouble
currently running.
Because I think it was Al Nassr, one of them. Apparently, they don't make enough in a month to pay 1 week's wages for one of their players.
Some of the stadiums only hold like 5,000.
This is the problem. It's
like
great having this, but they don't fill the stadiums. They're not packing them in. So, again, is it short-term success? I don't know. It's a really weird thing with this Saudi league.
But it ain't just football, though, Martin. It's golf, it's boxing. They're trying to take over the world stage with all sports wherever they
They're
can.
trying to rescue heavyweight
and
boxing.
they're trying to
to be
basically
fair to them.
raise their profile to accommodate that. But you only have to look at what's coming up in the boxing world. They're talking about Usyk against Fury and Joshua against Wilder. And if that happens, that'd be
And a heavyweight night.
unbelievable from that point of view. But they're just trying to do it every sport possible. I mean, look at golf. Golf, there was a massive uproar in it. And then all of a sudden, the PGA
They're all best friends, aren't they?
Couldn't not do it, and then they backtrack, and now obviously they brought them into the fray.
I think Muddied Up makes a great point. You've got Ali Ittihad trying to get a sideline. I've just realised Saudi Arabia are hosting the Club World Cup this year in December. So we're in it. So I suppose we're going to end up facing one of them. I think we've got Auckland Raiders or Auckland Ocean or some candlestick making team we've got going over there in December. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we'll discuss that next week because the Brentford game's already been postponed, believe it or not, for that lovely tournament. Trust me, you've got all this to come when you get there.
Well, we haven't. We've got to win a trophy first.
True. I am going to grab you to reaction on something before you jump. Is there anything else anyone wants to jump into?
Everton are going down.
Right, what is the thing with Everton? Someone needs to tell me, Steve, what's the issue with Everton? Why do you hate them?
Why are you asking Steve? Why are you asking Steve?
The hatred is disgusting.
Is it a football thing?
I'm honestly embarrassed for Barry.
It's football.
The way he behaves.
Right, Steve. We're asking a Newcastle fan, not a Palace fan, about a Newcastle reason. Okay? So, first thing, Pickford. Right? Do I need to go any further? Pickford's a prick. He's a Mackham. We don't like him. He went to Everton. That just made it even worse. Everton had this mentality of like they're a bigger club than Newcastle, which technically in history they probably slightly are. They've won a few more trophies than us. Not many, but they've never outdone any of what we've achieved in the Premier League, which isn't a lot, I know, but we finished second. We finished in the top four. I think Everton have finished in the top four once in their history of the Premier League.
Hang on, Baz.
Come on.
You're talking recent history, because if you stuck their history against yours, it's not comparable.
No, that's what I said. Recent history.
Going to say Graham Sharp's going to be on here in a minute.
If you take Everton's history into account versus Newcastle's, I mean, Sunderland have had more achievements.
No, they haven't.
Than Newcastle.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't, Steve. Bollocks again. Bollocks.
Newcastle, the biggest club from Gateshead. Everyone knows that.
Other side of the water. I just don't like Everton. I used to like them, but then when they started mouthing off all the time at work, yeah.
All right, here's a question for you, Baz. What would you do in the January window? Because Pope is obviously absolute dog shit.
What would we do in the January window after 3 games of the season? We will never sign Jordan Pickford, and Jordan Pickford would never sign for Newcastle.
What would you do, though? Let's just talk hypothetically.
He won't put rivalry aside.
Newcastle sign Jordan Pickford.
What would I do?
Yeah.
I'd lose my shit. I'm sure Pete would as well, to be fair.
Would you support Sunderland instead?
Well, come on, mate. That's just going from one extreme to another, isn't it?
Definitely not.
So I'll take it you two aren't popping down to Goodison Park when you play them then.
The fact is, it's a weekday game. That's the problem.
Pete, you're not allowed down there now. There's a wanted sign up when you get down there.
The fact is, they always put our games against Everton on a Tuesday, but it's every midweek now, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Look, I don't mind Everton in a way. I think it's there. Look, how many times have they avoided relegation?
Hang on a second, Baz. Time that went down is not a good quality.
No, it's time that went down. They need their turn to be humbled in the Championship and see if they get out.
Are we doing turns? Are we doing turns here? It's your turn.
Well, they do. They deserve to go down.
Which brings us nicely on to the window's over.
Yes.
Has anyone changed their relegation?
No.
No, not yet.
Teams.
Definitely not. Still Sheffield United, still Luton, still Everton.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm sorry, Mancunian Way fans, but I'm putting Burnley in it.
Ooh.
Over who, though?
Over Everton.
Wow.
I think Everton get out.
Again, by the skin of the teeth.
Yeah. Because it's an Everton thing. What they'll do
It's an Everton thing, I love it.
we'll get to a December point. Dyche will get sacked. They'll bring somebody else in.
But who would want to take? Who would want to take on Everton?
It would want to go there though. The
amount of crap that they're in.
You say that, but everyone does turn up there.
They can't even afford to finish the stadium.
Burn at the moment, and this is really gonna go against people. I just think Company is a bit. He's.
You've already got two people in the chat.
Yeah, I know I have. I knew I would because it's Vinny, and I can't say anything wrong against Vinny, and it hurts. But because the trouble is, everyone was talking Vinny as our next manager. That's ridiculous. That is way OTT. They're not going to go from Pep to Vinny. Let's take the sentimentality out of it. But I don't know. I've watched Burnley very carefully. And there's something about them in the minute doesn't look right.
Just the defense. It's that simple.
Yeah, they're not playing dirty enough in a way, I suppose. Like for a team that's just came up, they're playing too pretty football and they don't have the players to be able to execute it fully.
You see, the 3 against us, 5 against Tottenham, they're conceding for fun. And that is, I don't know why they never went for Taylor Howard Bellis again. He's ended up at Southampton on loan. I have no idea why they didn't make that permanent. Don't know. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, don't know.
See, someone says Wolves going down. I think Wolves.
Loads of people have got Wolves.
Yeah, but they played some decent football as well themselves. The game against Palace was a good game. I don't know how it ended up 3-2 in the last 10 minutes, but I don't know. Wolves just have them again. There might be a team that just have enough to stay up. I don't think they're going to be comfortable. But I don't see them going down.
I think the 3-2 scoreline flattered us in some ways, but it's just that age-old thing. We're very, very susceptible to set plays, and we concede a lot of our goals from that. And we were the worst team last season for it. And we've unfortunately Wolves got it right against us, but we should have won by more. We should have had a stonewall penalty, and we should have converted one more chance, which was an open goal. How the hell are you? Didn't bloody put it in the back of the net? I don't know, but. We played brilliant football, but I don't see Wolves going down. They're not too bad going forward, and they've got some good players in the likes of Neto and Semedo and people like that. I think they'll be right, and I actually think Gary O'Neill's a half-decent manager.
I agree.
Yeah, there is something as long as they get a 20 mil. It's an obligation to buy if they get promoted. The weird thing is with Burnley is I look at them. They've got Forest next, then they've got United. And Chelsea.
That's 12 points.
That's my issue with them.
It's a tough
They
one.
could get cut adrift at some point. And as much as Company may get them back, you know yourself, when you get to that 10-point gap, just to get out the bottom 3, you're on an uphill talent. You're on an uphill task. I mean, they're on -8 goal difference. They're on -8 goal difference already.
Yeah, goal difference is a killer, isn't it?
And James Trafford was meant to have come in and helped him do this. At the minute, he's looking nervous. The whole back line looked very nervous at the moment. And that's all my thing is. I don't want Burnley to go down. They just look bereft of confidence at the moment.
Someone said Bournemouth to go down. I mean, have they done enough?
They've spent a lot, by the way. Didn't realise how much they'd spent. Alan, thank you for the super chat. $7.99. Saudi will grow and best players will go there because it's tax free. Don't agree, but hey ho.
It's 2 ticks, lads.
His phone call was more important.
Yeah, listen, Alan, that's your opinion, but I don't agree because I don't think that will be allowed to happen forever.
It won't be allowed to happen forever, but they could grow the league big enough to then soak up the changes that need to come in. They need to build the stadiums and they need to get more fans in. That's the first thing.
But they're not even getting the fans in now, Baz, with who they bought.
Well, I mean, it's just the start of the project, though, isn't it? You just got to. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it. It really is.
That's
It'll be
what
interesting
someone
to
said.
see if it's a longevity thing or not.
I mean, even Ronaldo's not getting him in the door.
Mm.
And that
Yeah, but
says
how many
a lot.
eyes? How many eyes are on that league because of Ronaldo? Though they've actually got TV rights to show the leagues in so many different countries because of Ronaldo. So it's not just about the fans in the ground; it's the global eyes on it as well, and it's actually more than what we think.
Until they get a 28-year-old top player in, then I'll be like, yeah. At the moment,
Well, if you ask a lot of Newcastle fans, they've already got one, even though I completely disagree with it. Hey, I said I don't agree with
ASM and Mahrez are not the people that put eyes on them. Sorry, I don't mean that with any disrespect. They're not. It's like Sefrin said, until someone like an Mbappe, a Haaland, someone like that goes there, then it changes. But I don't think it'll happen because they want to win the world's top trophies.
Exactly. You've got to have ambition if you want to. You don't have much ambition if you go to the Saudi league, to be fair.
It's like MLS. MLS could be a huge league, but they've got so many restrictions in line. You go to MLS, they're full of billionaires.
Yeah,
they've got so many restrictions on the purse strings, can't do anything.
That's it.
And that's the problem. I don't think that will be allowed to go forever. Anyway, we'll wrap it there.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you to everyone for joining us. I don't know who's hosting. Who's hosting next month? Pete.
When are we doing it
next month?
Where are we doing it? What day?
Sometime next month. I'm sure we can arrange that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking which date, but we'll think. Oh, that's no problem.
I have got. If you chaps want to go back, by all means, I have got to do a competition winner. So if you want to stick around, stick around. If you don't, jump off.
Time for bed.
Yeah. Honestly, all their descriptions are down below. Please all stay on because I'm going to do the channel membership away in a moment. Steve, Coastal Palace on Twitter. Thank you, mate. PD Proudlock, you know where you can find him. Cook friend of the channel. And Baz through Black and White Eyes. That's what some of his views are about. Through Black and White Eyes.
I love it. Right.
And hopefully next month, you two might be smiling a bit more.
I am smiling. I told you it's a project. It's just a bad start. I've got plenty of time to put it right.
That's the thing, yes.
Yeah, I'm not in meltdown mode like the rest of
I believe we'll turn it around after the international break.
Damn right. Give them a bit more time. Get the new players integrated. Lewis Hall will play left back.
Give him the chance.
Get Botman back. We'll be fine. We'll be winning 5 in a row. You watch.
I'm sure you will. No, but anyway, thank you so much, gentlemen.
No problem.
See you later.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Guys.
Right, everyone. What we're going to do now, I am going to just tell you how many people have entered this competition. There are 73 members. What I'm going to do now, I hope you all enjoyed that. The next one will be on PD Proudlock's channel. Then the month after, it'll be on Baz's channel, Through Black and White Eyes. And then it'll be back to us. So what I'm just going to do, because I didn't manage to do this earlier, I need to get we're going to stay on for another 5 minutes. I'm just going to get the raffle predictor up because for some reason it's disappeared off I don't know why. I don't know why it has. Raffle draw app. There we go. Just going to give that a minute and then we'll get rolling. I know some people had some questions they wanted to ask. If anyone does not know, by the way, tickets for the Red Star Belgrade game goes on sale tomorrow morning. The Newcastle Cup game goes on sale tomorrow morning as well. So, if you are a season ticket holder and you're not on the Cup scheme, you can get your Red Star Belgrade tickets tomorrow. And if you've got 20,000 points and you're on, sorry, is it 20,000 or is it 10,000? If you are on that, you can then get your tickets for the League Cup against Newcastle. Yes, it is for members. It is now membership. I'm just going to open it because there's 73 members, which, by the way, is amazing. 73 members is awesome. This is our monthly prize giveaway for August. Hopefully they're on. If not, there's not much I can do. So I'm going to go number 173. I'm going to do a duration of 10 seconds. When I can find that. I don't know why that's... Why is that doing that? 8. I'll have to do it as 9 seconds. It won't let me do it. Right. And I will hold it up to the camera. Let me just turn my background off. The prize is, and I will tell you now, because we are trying to help the channel. 9320 Pubcast, you can win yourself a personalised mug, coaster, and a keyring. Value of around about £20. I will get that. So what you need to do is tell us what you want when we announce the winner, and we will get that out to you. The prizes aren't, some might think, well, I don't want that. This is why it's a giveaway. If you want a scarf or you want something else, by all means, we can sort that out for you. But there is going to be a cap limit on what it is. Otherwise, we'll be buying your shirts. We were looking at doing tickets for games, but the problem is not everyone turns up for them. So, right. So as you can see, randomization 1 to 73. I'm going to play it now. A dinner with Carson. You can see it's flying, it's flying, it's flying. 73. I have not, by the way, you saw how itemized that was. And the number of 73 who wins it is, and I've got it here, is, I'm just doing it 1 to 7, sir. And it is bang on 73. He's actually Muddy Duck. And I will take a photo of that and show you as well. Because, yeah, Muddy Duck is the winner. So congratulations to Muddy Duck. If you want to let us know what you win, I will just put it in here. Winning number is 73, which is Muddy Duck. And I can prove that is actually all thing as well. I will stick that on the community tab. So Muddy Duck, if you can get in touch, we will sort you out a mug. Andy, I think, is in the chat. If you don't want the mug, coaster and keyring, don't worry, we'll sort you something else out. But if you do, we will put you in touch with Andy over at 9320 Pubcast, and he will sort any design you want. There you go. What number are you, mate? You are number... I'll just get this here. Oh, where's that gone? The number for you is Cade. You are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21. It changes, by the way, every month, so it can change. You are 37. Looking at this. Cade. Yeah, Charmaine. Because you're under your mum's name, aren't you? So that's why. I was looking for Cade. Yeah, 37. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done, Muddy Duck. I'm trying to think of Mike Duck's pun. I'm fresh out. Right. So congratulations to them. You've seen we've done it properly. So get in touch. We'll get that sorted out. One thing as well, there is going to be no show on tomorrow night because it's international break. We're taking advantage of these breaks because it's going to be a long season. So while we've got this, I'm seeing the cup. It's a picture of the Channel Blanc Cup. Would have been better, actually. Not. It's not that, because that's the mug I've got. You don't have to have that mug, Man City for life. So stop being naughty. You don't have to have that mug. You can have any design you want. But yes, we will be back probably Sunday night, Monday night, something like that. Sunday or Monday, probably Monday night. We'll be back with the show. Now, what we need to do on the channel is do our own transfer window review, because all the windows over. I think it'd be good on Monday night. We do a transfer review with me, Aussie, Pat, Rich, get us all together, and we'll have a chat about that, about the window, and then the countdown begins to West Ham, because there's West Ham away, and then we're into Red Star Belgrade at home. Or there's going to be, we're at every 3 days. So that's why we're taking advantage of the break. So I do apologize if you think, well, what I don't want to do is just come on and just talk a load of nonsense. And I'm not saying other people are talking nonsense. Other people are bigger channels. They have more to talk about. I don't just want to come on and just talk about the latest rumours. We've just done a load of rumours. I am planning on doing something regarding the main road show, some point of a history show. But that's going to take time in terms of filming, getting the footage in, everything else. So I do apologize, nothing tomorrow night. We're going to take the advantage. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow with the group, and we're going to come up with some ideas as well. We've got your ideas that was in the community chat. Thank you all for that. And we'll discuss that. But what I do want to know is, tell us what you think under the comments of this new format. We've added ourselves in for the Premier League show. The next one will be in 2 or 3 months. Like I said, PD Proudlock will be September. Baz will be October. We'll be back on here with the show in November. And it'll just be on a rotational system like that. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Please go over and give Baz, PD, Coastal Palace over on Twitter, and from the Amble, James, a lot of love. There are other people as well. As a Brighton fan who comes in, it's called Mike, who's a top fella as well, and an Aston Villa fan. So it'll be great. It can get even bigger. They're all loving you, Muddy. They're loving you, mate. Calvin Attrick's out there. Will he play? Lag. Who's on a lag? Breaks are good when nothing is happening. It's not that nothing's happening. Just, why did Palmer want to leave Withenshaw? No, I didn't say he wanted to leave. I said it was a good idea he left. Good. I like it. And Leicester. And Leicester as well, yes. OFC, Calvin Stars. Anyway, big thank you to you all. Please smash that big thumbs up. Share it out. Let us know what you think in the comments. And we'll be back with you Sunday or Monday. Keep an eye at Horsey City or the community tab when we're live. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for the support. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. By the way, Muddy Duck, get in touch. Take care, all.